This week we're on the theme of confidence, and over the past few days, as it's really kind of been bubbling up inside of me, an old song just came into mind. This is the confidence that we have in Him. The words come straight out from 1 John 5. This is the confidence that we have in Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us. And if we know that He hears us, we know that we have the petition that we desire of Him. I'm just going to kind of play it and sing it and just enjoy it. This is the confidence that we have in Him, that we ask anything according to His will. He hears us, and if we know that He hears us, we know that we have the petition that we desire. There we go. All right. Yes. Confidence. Things can come. They could just kind of shake us, and then suddenly we have a situation. Are we going to be in faith, or are we just going to allow fear to come on us? And I've got a couple of testimonies that have happened to me some years ago. I was just about to go on a ministry trip to Sweden. Joyce was staying at home, and I had a colleague over in Sweden who was going to be with me, and I discovered I had a lump in my testicles. Sounds a bit kind of, but that's it, it's real. So suddenly here I am. I've got a flight the next day. I've got 2.5 weeks of ministry in Sweden, and I've got this physical issue that could be extremely bad. And the first thing I did, I thought, I can't tell Joyce, I've got to go and leave, but do I go, or do I go off and start seeing the doctors? So I just was praying, and I just walked out into the hall, and suddenly the words, "Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business," the words Jesus spoke when He had gone up for the Passover, and He stayed behind in Jerusalem, and his parents came back totally alarmed, and Jesus said, I had to be about my Father's business. I found that was a complete confirmation. So next day I'm on a plane, I'm in Sweden, and I just said, as I get up in the morning, I'm just going to really declare God's healing power over me. I'm going to stay confident in His power to heal me, and then I'm just going to go and do the preaching and teaching and all the things I need to do. And each day I got up, I read the scriptures, and I prayed. I found a scripture in the day's reading, Psalm 128, and it just says, "May you live to see your children's children." And at that moment in time, we had, I think, 2 of our children married, but there was no sign of any grandchildren on the way. And when those words came, "May you live to see your children's children," I just thought, amen. And I just kept declaring that. And at times in the ministry trip, it was a bit hairy. But when I got back home, first thing I said to Joyce, I said, "I haven't told you this, but I just need to see the doctor tomorrow." And off I went to the doctor. He examined me. And then I went through the whole process of various investigations. And I didn't have cancer. The lump had diminished and eventually disappeared. And here I am, a number of years later, with 18 grandchildren. So God really fulfilled His word perfectly there. And then at another time, I'd been invited to go to a conference in Austria, and we had a great conference, and it was a wonderful time. But I realized that the organizers, they'd chosen a very expensive venue, and they'd expended a lot of money. And they came to me at the end and said, "Look here, we really have had very big financial difficulties. We can only just give you a little token amount of money." So I kind of took up my token amount of money, came home and said to Joyce, "Well, I've hardly got enough here to pay for the week's groceries, so Suddenly the fear comes on. I've been away ministering and I've really no love gift or very small. And, Lord, are you the provider? Well, when we really began to trust the Lord at the very beginning, the Lord gave us a verse, particularly to Joyce, was that from Romans 8, it says, and he who did not spare his own son, and gave him freely for us all, will he not along with him graciously give us all things? And that verse became like the sort of headline over our trusting the Lord for our income. And so here we are, not very much money, very little money in the bank, and saying, Lord, how are you doing? Well, just some weeks later, we were in Switzerland, and I'd done a conference, and then came to the Sunday. Didn't really have anything planned, but one of the people who I knew, actually he'd been in Austria with me, he said, you wouldn't preach on Sunday morning? I said, yeah, that's fine. So I got up and just shared the word in his church. And when he got to the end, he just stood up and said, Charles and Joyce, and they minister all over the place. And I was with Charles recently, and I just know that they do have some needs. And I just believe that this morning we can just give them a love gift. So he says, there's a basket at the back, just put something in there. So I just didn't really, I thought, well, I was quite bowled over. And then just a few moments later, he came up to me and said, here's what's been given. And there was £1,500 in that offering at the end of just a Sunday morning service. And I was totally amazed. And we went home rejoicing, knowing that God was faithful. And so when the scriptures, do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded. In these days when so much is happening on the physical front, economic front, all kinds of issues that we're dealing with, God is faithful. He will come up and he will answer your prayers, and just hold that promise and you will see a good result.